about somebody that is approaching you about a subject they would like to get to know more about. Maybe you are an expert in your field. Maybe you are, someone who's been doing the same hobby for a long time. But there seems to be a person who wants to communicate with you or spend more time with you. Or they may have even asked if you would be like their mentor. And you may be curious as to whether or not this person really wants something else. It could be they want to get close to you and get information on you to pass back to someone else. Or maybe they want to actually be in a romantic relationship with you. But there seems to be a little bit of suspicion on your side whether or not somebody has fully been honest with you about why they want to talk to you. So let's call in spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. If you're interested in a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is wickedwandstarot@gmail.com. You can find it in the description box along with more information on how to get additional content as a member. Thank you to the current members. We do have a members only live stream in a little bit less than 2 hours for those that are in the stars and the towers tiers. But you can also find, oh, hold on, I've moved it. It's like further away now. You can also find a link to my Etsy shop if you're interested in a homemade soy candle. This is not gonna work for me to keep it up there. I added more shelves to my desk because I added more tarot decks. And so I have to get like accustomed or acclimated to it. All right, let's dive in. I think we're gonna go with, which one should we do? This is difficult. Okay, we're gonna go with the Touchstone Tarot. What else do we have? The Three of Cups and the Moon in the reverse. Okay, well, there it is. We're trying to figure out what this person wants from you. Why do you want to be my friend? Why are you trying to talk to me about something that I'm passionate about? And there we have the Three of Cups, which is about social connections, and the Moon in the reverse. The Moon in the reverse talks about questionable intentions. So I don't think this is someone who's being honest with you about what they really want. So let's just ask then, what does this person actually want? Are they going to go talk about you to someone else? Is that their plan? Death and Judgment in the reverse. Well, I don't think it's romantic. It could take a romantic turn for some of you, but I do feel like there's someone who you have blocked or that you are, no longer communicating with very often. And this person wants to be able to figure out what's going on in your life. So they have like a cousin or a best friend or someone who is trying to get to know you, basically trying to say they want to know more about your favorite hobby or, where you grew up or something like that. They're really just checking on you for someone else. Hello, Double A, how are you doing? Hey, Baka, we got a couple of things that we need to talk about here. First of all, please do not use all uppercase letters. That's a bit jarring, especially before 7 a.m. in the morning for me. Second of all, if you would like me to pull some cards for you, I'm happy to do so, but that would happen after the general reading. You can put your request in a super chat and I will add you to the list, but it would be in about 30 minutes that I start those. Let's make sure that there's no repetition of that. And don't use your personal information, please. I don't need that. Hello, though. How are you doing? Interesting starting off with that. I've been to Germany and I do like it. I was in Karlsruhe and Stuttgart. Got to see some car museums, so that was pretty awesome. Hello, Natalie. How are you doing? Hello, Hira. I hope you're having a good day. Thank you, Dracula. I appreciate that. Thank you. Hello, Golu. How are you doing? So we've got, and I don't know what that means, but you'll let me know, right, though? So we've got somebody who's spying on you. Real talk. That's what's happening here. Someone who's going to fake an interest in something that you like. Because there's someone they know who wants to figure out what's going on in your life right now. And what's funny, Dracula, is I'm using those cards right now. Touchstone Tarot. 8 of Cups and the 5 of Swords. Wow. So this is how that person feels about you. 5 of Swords is about causing drama, creating a wedge between others, sabotage. Because you walked away from this person. In some cases, maybe they walked away from you and you were just like, okay, fine, be that way. But we have someone who's spying on you through another person. It's a little bit dark. Let's keep things a little bit more above board, shall we, Zen? Hello, spectator. If you would like me to pull cards for you, please put that in a super chat, or you can donate a membership to someone else. Otherwise, I'm going to focus on, well, regardless, I will focus on the general reading for the next about 28 minutes, and then I start personal questions. If you'd like to be on the list, you can do a super chat. Hey, though, why is that any of your business? Hello, Max. Hello, Dennis. Hello, Renee. Yes, Vodka, I am. I love that, Renee. Good call. The King of Wands and the Lovers in the reverse. Wow, these cards are amazing. So this person has sent a delegate. Has sent someone that they feel like they can get information on you from, because you are not interested in reconnecting with them. You are not interested in reconciling with them. So there is an issue in terms of feeling like they can't just ask you a question, or they can't just, you know, look at your social media because you blocked them. But they really want to know what's going on. Baka, if you would like me to pull cards for you, I do that after the general reading. For those who tip or donate, you can put your request in a super chat and I will add you to the list. But that would be in about 25 minutes, 27 minutes. Hello, Vlogs. How are you doing? 5 of Coins and the 9 of Cups in the reverse. This person is struggling. What did you do to this person? They're heartbroken. Desperate for information on you. But you are not interested. So the advice here is to be cautious about new friends showing up. You have discernment. You'll be able to figure out if someone is indeed this spy. But there's a person who's asking about a hobby or something that you are knowledgeable about. Maybe it's what you focused on in school, right? But they want to get close to you to get information different from what they're asking about you originally, because they know a person you've blocked. Hello, Martine. How are you doing today? Hello, Marty. Alrighty. What else do we have? The Nine of Swords and the Sun. Look at how adorable that is. The Sun is in the reverse, though. This person's depressed. They miss you. You have the Nine of Swords as well. They stay up and think about you. That's why they had to send somebody to spy on you. That's why they had to send a friend to ask whatever they could to try to get a bit of a pulse on what's going on for you. Can they figure out a way to get back to you, or is that going to be too much of a challenge? All right. This is... Oh, no. You guys, I don't remember the name of this one. It's something about feathers. It's a feather oracle, you guys. Crap, I don't remember. This is what happens when I add too many at the same time. My apologies. I will put it in the comments. Oh, I hope you can find that clarity. I'm happy to help you, Martine. If I recall, you've done the super chat before, and I will start those personal questions in about 23 minutes, maybe 22 minutes. Hello, Synthesized. How are you doing? Ah, thank you. It's the Divine Feathers Oracle. We have the Cardinal and the Owl. Stand tall and proud. See the leadership role unfolding ahead of you. Your intuition is correct. Follow your inner wisdom without fail. So the thing is, you've got somebody here who I think you're already a little bit suspicious of. You're like, I feel like maybe you're not telling me the real reason you want to talk. The real reason that you have appeared in my life, right? And you're right. For many of you, this is a situation where you have let go of a close friendship or even ended a relationship, a romantic relationship, and it has enabled you to make strides or forward movement with regards to your career. You are not supposed to sacrifice that for a person that didn't know how to treat you. But this person who did not know how to treat you respectfully is trying to find a way back into your life, and it could put at risk the progress that you're making or the success that you're meant to have. Yeah, it's important to be selective, right? Because sometimes we just want to be friendly and let people in, but that can cause issues. Oh, this is like kid in a candy shop situation here. Okay, I gotta go with a few that I'm a little bit more familiar with. I've missed the Salvador Dali tarot, so we're gonna go for that. I think it specifically is the Dali tarot because there's a few that have his artwork. What else do we have? Yeah, you can't always trust people to stay gone when you block them. So, what else about this person? Eight of Cups. Queen of Coins. So they have some reason to believe that you are going through a glow up. They're frustrated because while it's difficult for them to let go or difficult for them to accept being blocked by you, you seem to be doing just fine. They don't like that. That's why they've sent someone to try to figure out why or how. How are you unbothered? How are you doing better without me versus missing me? You don't like it. Three of Wands in the reverse and the Queen of Wands in the reverse. So you're coming through as this Queen of Pentacles, and the person who is sending someone to figure out why you're doing so well is very likely a fire sign. Doesn't have to be, but we have the Queen of Wands in the reverse. They're insecure, they're pacing back and forth, they're trying to figure out how to get you back or to miss them, to gain access back into your life or your heart. Six of Wands in the reverse. Five of Wands in the reverse. The problem here is they have been unfocused. Where you have reclaimed some of your energy from this person and been able to like run with it and do better, the opposite is true for this person you're no longer speaking to. It's funny, sometimes that's how it goes with breakups, right? One person is no longer trying to carry the weight of the relationship on their shoulders, and it frees up all of this mental space and energy for them to be able to go after what's important. Maybe they get a promotion. Maybe they start looking more attractive because they're going to the gym. Maybe they just seem to be a little bit happier, right? But the person that you have distanced yourself from is angry and it's expressing itself. People can pick up on it. Hello, Carrie. How are you doing? I'm glad to hear that, Synthesized Souls. Entirely likely, Martine. Hey, Clippa, you want to try that again? Only I need to make sure that you're not under the age of 18. I do have on my videos that they're not made for children, based on that joke that you made. I'm a little bit nervous about that, so just make sure you're aware of that rule, okay? Hello, Shayla. How are you doing today? All right, so we have the Six of Pentacles and the Four of Swords. They're getting their karma. They're seeing things go better for you when they're not there. When they don't have, the ability to be a dark cloud over your life, you do better. But now that dark cloud is entirely their responsibility and they're frustrated. Wheel of Fortune. Seven of Cups. They feel like you have choices. They feel like you're booked and busy. They feel like you are not looking over your shoulder. But that Seven of Cups, it can mean opportunities and it can also mean illusion. So that's why they have to send someone to spy on you. They have to figure out something about your life. All right, Clippa, if you are in fact old AF, let's act your age, shall we? I believe in you. I appreciate the sentiment, Renee, but I do have to make sure that there are people who are, if they're under 18, I gotta kick them out. That's fair, Clippa, but you're gonna have to behave yourself in my live chat, okay? Page of Swords and the Page of Cups, cards that refer to children often. I love these cards. They're so beautiful. I need to figure out what my ex is up to because I'm worried that they're dating someone new, right? I'm worried that there's something else here that's making them happy. This ex of yours cannot fathom how you could be doing so well just by virtue of being on your own. I think that's kind of sad. But it's indicative of their inability to understand that maybe they make life more difficult for people, that maybe because they don't have their ish together, it could be a bit draining for people to deal with them. Instead, their assumption is, surely there is someone else here who's like making you happy. It can't just be that you're happy on your own, right? I said hi to Shayla, didn't I? I hope I did. Thank you, Renee. Yeah, they don't understand that it could just be that you're happy on your own, right? So we have the Four of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups in the reverse, and the Eight of Pentacles, also in the reverse. They have struggled to focus. They have struggled to clean the house. They have struggled to do right by their obligations or show up on time. They're feeling lonely and withdrawn, maybe even struggling financially, and yet you seem to be doing better. This perplexes them to no end. They have no understanding, like, how is this even possible? This is the Anubis Oracle. What else do we have? Yes, exactly. Feeling irrelevant. I think it's pronounced Ptah. The new Aeon, imagination and visionary prophet. See, the thing is, you have a very magical spirit, and when you are unencumbered by people who have no imagination or people who seek to control you, then you're able to actually pursue that path or that purpose. This is why you have this glow up when you separate from this heavy presence or this dark connection. Then we have Amun-Ra, solar energies, transfiguration, alchemical gold. Sorry, I'm hearing the Austin Powers gold member. Gold. Things get better for you. Things brighten up. You have a greater sense of, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is how I'm supposed to do things. This is what I need to focus on. When you're not, weighed down by someone else's emotional issues or imagined arguments with you. Nephthys, the High Priestess, intuition and mystery. Can I just say that is impressive? Because not only do you have that magical sun energy, right, solar, you also have the moon. This means you have the ability to be quite balanced, but this relationship from your past threw you off balance. That's what was a major block to you and your success when you were dealing with this Queen of Wands in the reverse. Does not have to be a woman. And you don't have to be a woman either with that Queen of Pentacles. But this is saying you have a sense of balance, or you have this ability to be quite successful when you're not dealing with people who try to confuse you, when you're not dealing with people who struggle to know their own path. Because realistically, it looks to me like this person was threatened by your ability to be successful or happy without them, to have a sense of purpose that did not have to be wrapped up in a relationship with them. Yes, I agree. Christine, which deck were you talking about? I don't know the name of the artist unless we're talking about the Dali Tarot. But this would be the Anubis Oracle, if you want to look that up. Some people really struggle with that, Listus. Hello, Joey. I hope you both are having a good day. Hello, Francis. Joey, if you'd like to put your request in a super chat, I will add you to the list. I start personal questions in about 10 minutes. Hello, Ezio. How are you doing? All right, let's get a few from the Witch's Tarot. What else do we have? The Queen of Swords, the Two of Wands, and the Universe. You are making plans, you have a sense of direction, and this frightens your ex or the person who's no longer got access to you. There are more opportunities now than there previously were, in part because you see things as a possibility that before maybe you didn't see. If you are moving through your life as an individual as opposed to, say, part of a couple, then presumably you have more options available to you because you could potentially move. You could, make decisions for yourself. This terrifies the person who's trying to get information on you. That's why they're so set on trying to figure out what your plans are and why there's someone new trying to get close to you. This person is going to report back to the individual who has some unhealed energy. They want to know what your strategy is. Six of Wands in the reverse. They want to cause a wrinkle in your plan. They want to make it difficult for you to move forward or make you feel like you have to be in a relationship with them in order to be successful. I think you already know that's not true. If anything, they make it more difficult for you, right? Thank you, Joey. Let me add that for you. Will I be back home and happy with my family? I sure hope so, but we shall consult the cards shortly. Let's see, probably in about 8 minutes or so. Hello, Deba. If you put your question in a super chat, I will add it to the list. Temperance. Remember I told you you've got that sun and moon energy working for you? Temperance is a balance. Do not let this person interrupt the balance that you are creating for yourself. Two of Pentacles is also about a balance. They're threatened by the fact that you seem so calm in their absence and they struggle without you. Queen of Pentacles. Why are things going better for you? Why aren't you missing me? Why aren't you trying to figure out a way to get back to me? It's easier for you to see your path. So they sent someone over here to try to get to know you. They sent someone to try to distract you so that you don't go elsewhere. Or so that you lose hope with whatever plan you might have and feel like you have to reconnect with this person from your past. Hey, Deba, did you hear my comment? Please don't repeat yours. I do personal questions after the general reading is done with priority to those who tip or donate. So if you would like to include your question in the super chat, I'm happy to add it to the list. Otherwise, you may find value in the general reading. Perhaps more so if you rewind it to the beginning. Princess of Pentacles and the Prince of Cups. So the Page of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups. So I'll send someone to pretend to be your friend or to try to get to know you better. Or maybe it'll work out. So I can get some information on you and figure out what your plans are and see if there's anything I can do to make you doubt those plans so that you come back to me. This is the Energy Oracle. All right, Zen, you're a little too dramatic for me. I'll put you in a timeout because you go for like talking about death in a kind of violent way. So I'm gonna put you in a little break, okay? If you won't come back, that's okay, but we're gonna need to be a little bit less threatening, okay? Hello, Sapphire, how are you doing? Hello, Triple Z, what's up? Wow, I can't make this up. Look at how similar these are. Temperance and the Magician in the Mirror. Referencing to a balance of two energies. The sun and the moon. You don't need this person to be balanced. If anything, you are far more successful without this person. They maybe have in the past tried to make you feel like you could only be successful if they were in your life, but you're now starting to realize that they actually held you back, and this is terrifying for them. They don't want you to feel like things are easier without them. They don't want you to think that you don't need them. And the reality is you don't. You're better off without this person and their strange energy. Yeah, it's going to be pretty hot here too. Hello, Miko. How are you doing? What's going on, Triple Z? Why are you deleting your messages? Joey, that means it's probably pretty hot down there. Wow, look at that. We have the birds. Gossip. Oh, the little bird, it sings a song of worry and woe, but never fear, your trouble hasn't far to go. So yes, there's someone who is trying to spy on you and bring information back to a person you have blocked, but you are smart enough to figure this out. You can, deduce that this is someone who's not being honest about their intentions, right? One never wants to tangle with a snake, whether near or far. Always, whether early or late, it warns you of a coming betrayal. Hello, White Witch. How you doing today? All right, let's try this out. Thank you, Sapphire. Let me add that for you. How will work go over the next months? How will relationship be with colleagues? Does my XG know that I am married now? Awesome. I've added that for you. Thank you, Sapphire. Glad to hear that, White Witch. So we have the fish. This is good news. You're getting good news and it's driving this person from your past crazy. Like, I don't want you to realize how powerful you are or how successful you can be when you're not bogged down by my melancholy or by my bad moods or being confused about my actions. I want you to feel like you can't make it on your own. So it's working against their plan. This is part of why they need to send somebody to spy on you and figure out if you're dating someone new. All right, we're going to dive into those personal questions. This is the Meta Muse. And for Joey, we have, will I be back home and happy with my family? If you all out in the collective can send some positive energy towards Joey to help him in that, I would be very thankful. Will Joey be back home and happy with his family? I see yes. Knight of Cups. Joey, it's really important for you to remain as positive as you can. Obviously, you need to match those thoughts with your actions and do the things that you need to be working on or make progress in the areas that you are focused on. But it's also very important that you keep a positive mindset. Specifically, I would say shoot for 17 seconds of saying things like, I will be back with my family by August, or, you know, whatever the time frame is that makes sense. With this Five of Swords, the warning here is that there is a possibility someone else could complicate your plans or that self-sabotage could get in the way. So first and foremost, I need you to forgive yourself. I need you to focus on what can be done, and as long as you are taking accountability, let go of that past, right? Because there is a deep love here and a possibility for a lot of happiness, but it's dependent upon you embracing this new energy and letting go of the old, especially if there's any habit of self-sabotage here. But I'm seeing that you are able to move into a more courageous energy, and that's what enables you to be back with your family and happy. The Sun is the happiest card in the deck. You have a change of perspective that helps you to accomplish this. So positive thoughts and manifesting that reality, making sure that you are changing the behavior that needs to be changed. Hello, Morpheus. How are you doing? I wish you luck, Joey. Let's see what we've got for Sapphire. This is the Shadowscapes Tarot. How will work go over the next few months for Sapphire? Three of Wands, Ten of Cups, Emperor in the reverse. There seems to be like a group of people who are stronger because of the friendship and like camaraderie that they have. And I see you being able to build a bridge towards that group, feeling a sense of being accepted or a part of that group. But with the Emperor being in the reverse, there's a concern as far as leadership or management. It could be that that camaraderie is kind of like a reaction to not so great boss or a lack of leadership. Let me add Martine's question real quick. Thank you, Martine. What are the warnings and consequences? Sorry if you hear my stomach growl, by the way. For my love life. And how it may affect my future and health. I have added that for you. Thank you, Martine. What else for Sapphire regarding the work situation, please? Tower in the reverse and the Chariot in the reverse. So there's something that needs to change but is blocked by this Emperor in the reverse. And it looks like things are easier for you when you feel like you're part of that like group at work. But the problem is it looks like there is like illusions and a lack of communication. So you may feel like you don't get the leadership that you need or the resources that you need. However, I'm just going to remind you, you are quite capable, even though it may be a bit of a struggle, even though it may feel like you don't have what you need. I do see you being able to eke out a win. Or have, you know, like you meet a deadline against all odds, or you make things work. But it's also important to know when it's time to move on to the next opportunity. Because I do see there being something else coming your way, probably like early next year. Make the most of your current situation so that you have a good story to tell when you're interviewing for the next one. Oh, I don't know why it would do that. I'm sorry. Not at all. You're good. Hello, Miss Maples. How are you doing? So Sapphire, we've got how will the relationship be with the colleagues? Queen of Wands, the Moon in the reverse, and the Devil in the reverse. Like I said, I feel like there is a lack of leadership, or maybe like a boss that you don't necessarily like. Moon in the reverse, someone who is not doing right by their responsibilities. I suppose it could be a colleague like on your same level. But I see a group of people that you become a part of that band together with that Queen of Wands energy. And it's like you're able to deal with the negative energy in the workplace because you all work together. So in my mind, it's like the concept of a three-legged race where two people tie one each of their legs together, and you have to see if you can win against others. So you make it work, even though there's someone here who's a bit contentious or combative or doesn't like to actually do their work. And does Sapphire's ex G know that Sapphire is married now? No. No, this ex of yours is unaware. I'm sure that they would like to know, though. Thank you, Shayla. Let me add that for you. Will I manifest what I've been working on this week? I have to write real small, but I made it. All right. Sapphire, I hope that helps, and I'm going to wish you the very best of luck with that. Let's see what we've got for Martine. Martine, we're going to use the Royal Fez or the Moroccan Tarot for you. Hello, Francis. How are you doing? You're welcome, Sapphire. Hello, Delinia. How are you doing today? Good morning, Lee. I hope it goes well today, but let me add that for you. How will court go today? month of August for vacation. And he wants the same thing? Okay, so it looks like there's a little bit of a battle for August. We shall see what the outcome will be. I've added that. Thank you, Lee. Oh, I love seeing that positive energy. Thank you, White Witch, for adding that. Hello, Chloe. How's the UK? Y'all cooling down over there? I think I heard it was not quite as hot. All right. So for Martine, we have, what are the warnings and consequences for my love life? Let me separate that into two questions real quick. What are the warnings for the love life for Martine, please? Death in the reverse and Temperance. The warnings are, and the Five of Wands in the reverse. The warnings regarding love life are around finding the exact same energy in a new person and feeling like you can fix that person. So your gut is going to try to warn you, or your intuition is going to try to keep you from getting involved with someone who would be a repeat of the same issue. Can we learn from that past experience and make sure that the people that you get close to going forward are introspective and committed to healing themselves, as opposed to relying on you to make things better, right? Ah, thank you, Lee. Doesn't want Lee to get vacation. Okay, I have updated that. Thank you, Lee. And what about the consequences for Martine's love life? Relationships with immature behavior type people. I'm seeing in particular, Martine, that there is a pattern or a lesson that needs to be fully learned about codependency. That there are people who fall in love with you for the wrong reasons, and your task or your mission in love is to learn that being needed and being loved are very different things. And while I think a lot of people out there want to feel needed, it's a much more satisfying type of relationship if you're able to be with somebody who can manage pretty well on their own, but feels like things are better when they're with you, right? So I feel like the consequences for you have maybe set you back a little bit in terms of your own stability, but you have this, like the arch around you makes me feel like you have been moving forward with different intentions now, like you have learned from this. So you may be a little bit prickly to some people. You may come across as a little bit inaccessible, right? But it's because you don't want to be used by anybody again. You're not interested in somebody who doesn't have their own life together. Oh, that's very nice. Hello, Darth Nerd. How are you doing? I'm working on it, Shayla. Morpheus, I would say black cats for sure. Thank you, Shayla. I appreciate that. What do you mean, Martine? You said you needed to know about the ex if possible. So are you saying you want to know what your consequences are for dating the ex? Let's see if there's I'm going to move to this next question. I'll check back with you. How will Martine's love life affect Martine's future? I'll come back for the health as well. Well, I love that. We have the Two of Cups. Then we have the Five of Swords in the reverse and the Ten of Wands. This feels like basically you learn how to deal with things on your own. You become more independent and you recognize how important it is to see that independence in others before you move forward with a relationship. So you're just a little bit more discerning. So it changes how you fall in love, right? I recognize you. Gaines, I hope you find something that makes you happy so that you're not so miserably judging other people. I genuinely wish the best for you, but my channel is not for you, okay? Ooh, I bet that was beautiful, Morpheus. So, Martine, there's a Two of Swords here, and the Two of Swords often depicts somebody who is blindfolded, but we also have the moon in the upper corner. You are much more willing to count on your intuition than you were in the past, and you have learned this, or you have become that way in part because of signs that you didn't listen to regarding your ex, but it's making you able to deal with that more readily than you did in the past, right? What warnings or consequences will Martine have to deal with because of the ex? Page of Swords, Knight of Cups, Devil in the reverse. Attempts to communicate, attempts to reconnect with you, and you having to stand your ground, whether it is literally the ex or someone who has that same energy. It's pretty much the same answer, Martine, because you are dealing with things right now in part because of who you decided to connect to, right? You took on some of those karmic consequences. But I feel like it is working out for you because it has helped you to become more confident in your ability to discern. And it has also helped you to be a bit more decisive when you encounter people that are codependent. He is trying to block you. So, Martine, I would put some of your energy into imagining a white sphere of protection around your home. And hey, I don't speak Russian, okay? That's just how it is. You can't just come in here and say speak Russian. That's not how it works, my friend. I'm sorry. Be chill and be respectful or I might have to block you, okay? So Martine, the recommendation here is to make sure that you are putting up that sphere or that protective energy around you. I don't feel like he's able to actually block you, but he's absolutely trying to. And that could be why maybe the general reading resonated for you. He doesn't like to think that you would be able to make things work on your own, but you are well on your way to accomplishing that. Hello, Watson. How are you doing? So how might it affect Martine's health, please? Hierophant in the reverse and the Ace of Cups. It may affect your ability to focus on what you need for yourself. So, for example, if you need to take a day off of work, or if you need to go out and have dinner by yourself, you may be tempted to be a little bit more reserved or maybe even a bit more of a hermit. And this is reminding you not to let your ex get in the way of you pursuing what makes you happy. Sometimes we give too much power to the people from our past when we are making decisions on things that could bring you a lot of joy and happiness. So in particular, I'm seeing that sense of joy that you get when you're taking time off or going on a vacation or doing something for just you. So make sure that that is still a priority of yours. Obviously, you don't need to do that every day, but it should be fairly frequent. So make sure that you're able to do that. I know, right? Sadly, the only Russian I know is a swear word. I'm kind of tempted to say it right now, but I don't want it to be misconstrued. Martine, work on that protective layer around you. I feel like you're going to be just fine. He's going to be a little upset about it, but that's just how it is, right? It is what it is. All right, let's see what we have for Shayla. Sorry, I think there's like a hair in my eyelash. Driving me crazy. What shall we use for Shayla? Shayla, we are going to use the Connolly deck for you. I have added more shelves, and so it's like the desk is like going up around me like I'm building a castle of tarot. And if you all can send some protective energy, oh, you already did. Thank you, Shayla. Towards Martine, I appreciate it. Thank you, Mija. Let me add that for you. I hope I'm saying your name right. I speak a little bit of Spanish, so that's how I see it. Issues and disputes. With former employer. Outlook for July. Thank you. I appreciate it, Miho. I've added that for you. And for Shayla, it gets everywhere, right? White Witch. Hello, Indra. Indra, I'm nervous I didn't say hello to you yesterday. I felt guilty about it all day, so I'm going to say hello twice. Hello, Indra. Hello, Dylan. How are you doing? All right, so for Shayla, we have, will I manifest what I've been working on this week? Will Shayla manifest what she's been working on this week? Oh, it came out sideways. Okay, is there something blocking Shayla from being able to receive what she's been manifesting? There is something blocking you right now. It's like it's like your cell phone has been suspended, so you can receive calls, but you cannot make them. So I say that as an analogy, which is basically to say you are effective in your approach to manifestation, but you aren't going to receive something because there is a block in place. Is this a block from someone else? This is someone else who's blocking your energy right now. But I see you being able to get over it. I see you being able to get past this. And I love, okay, this is a Six of Swords card, right? You can see the swords down here. But what does she have in her hand? A wand. A wand. Now, you could take that as you crossing over a bridge and you have beaten somebody. Let's hope it's not that violent, right? I think it's more so you're manifesting. You're getting over whatever somebody has placed in your way. You're building a bridge. So what does Shayla need to do in order to create that bridge? World in the reverse. Five of Pentacles, Ace of Cups. I need you to remove someone who is living rent-free in your brain right now. I feel you've already tried to block this person. I feel like for the most part you have done it, but there is still enough of this person being like thought of in your brain to allow them a bit of like a stronghold or access to your energy. So I need you to remove whatever you can, right? As far as that tendency to want to think about what they're up to or check on their social media or ask somebody else about them or watch tarot videos about them, right? Did I say hello to Dylan? Hello? Isn't it? I love this one. It's a little bit of a different interpretation. Well, that says it right there, Shayla. So we have the King of Pentacles and the Magician in the reverse. You're going to be able to block this. But I need you to do everything you can to just cleanse the toxic person from your brain and stop allowing them to like cross your mind. You got better things to do, and there's things that should be keeping you busy, not needing to think about them, right? Thank you, Indra. Let me add this for you. Over the next few months. Oops. I've added that for you. Oops. Yes, and releasing. I think that's the right move, Shayla. So with that plan that Shayla just mentioned, will things free up? I'm seeing there's also something that maybe this person gave you, or something that you have where you live that reminds you of this person. If they gave you a piece of art, or if they gave you jewelry, or if they gave you, I don't know, like a purse, there is something tangible that you need to, okay. Yes, that's it. That is it. So when you do your cord cutting, deal with the picture. All right, I'm excited. You got this. All right, let's see what we've got for Lee. We have, we're gonna go with the Tarot of the Nile. How will court go today for Lee? How will court go for Lee today? Thank you, Dylan. Hello, Abdu. You can donate. I would say the average is usually about $5, maybe $10. But donate what works for you, and I will add you to the list. And I hope you're having a good day. Hello, Kathy. How are you doing? So, Lee, we have the King of Swords, the Emperor, and the Nine of Cups. I feel like you're this Emperor, by the way. It's easy to think that an Emperor has to be a man. This is your energy. You're getting validated. Something that you have been arguing for a long time. You're going to be like, I told you so. So, do you get everything you want? Maybe not. But I feel like you're going to walk out of that courtroom like, that's right. I told you, and now you see it. Now you get it. So, what about with regards to the month of August? Will Lee get what she wants? It's going to be a little bit of a battle, 5 of Wands, but I do feel like it's going to go in your favor. You might get slightly less, right? You might get 75% of what you want, or 80% of what you want. But I feel like there is a bit of a turning point here in terms of just how long your ex has been struggling and how many excuses have been made versus your steadfast ability to be a good parent. 3 of Pentacles, Magician in the reverse. The fact that he has been manipulative and dishonest is brought up. See how they're holding up a piece of paper? These are records. This is like, okay, so you told us this in February, you told us this in March, you told us this in April, and now here we are, it's July, and none of this seems to be true. So there's holding to account that happens. Awesome. I'm proud of you, Shayla. Have a wonderful day. So, Lee, we've got the Four of Pentacles, Nine of Wands, and the Five of Swords. There's something here about his finances or his expenses that he's going to get defensive about, or he is asked about, like repetitively. And I feel like he loses his temper. And I think I've said this a couple times now. You just let him lose his temper. I don't know if I would necessarily say you should stand there with a nail file. But I would allow him to mess it up for himself. Because I think he's going to get overly defensive over finances or, you know, like the relative stability that he can offer to your daughter. I'm glad to hear that, Kathy. Let's see what we've got for Miho, and if you all can send some positive energy towards Lee getting the decision that is best for her and her daughter today, I appreciate that. So Miho, we've got issues and disputes with a former employer. What is the outlook for July? What is the outlook for July for Miho regarding the former employer disputes? I see you coming up with like an improved plan. So I used to sell software. Excuse me if I'm a bit technical in how I describe this, but the way I'm seeing this is a software patch. So basically, there's something here that did not work or was not quite good enough. And then I see you being this magician saying, you know what? Let's fix this. This is an issue. This wasn't supposed to work this way. So I've got some plan here. I can do this differently and it'll be better. So if you are contemplating taking a slightly different approach, take this as confirmation that that's the right thing to do. And with the Seven of Cups and the Six of Swords in the reverse, I see something about like letting your opponent be a little bit confused. So I don't really remember the name of this movie that I'm thinking about, but I'm pretty sure it had the word heaven in it. But there was someone who was escaping and their plan was figured out by the meanies, right? The bad guys. And at the last minute, they changed their plan. So even though the other, like the corporate, right, folks, actually I think it was government, felt like they were going to be able to trap this person, they changed their plan at the last minute. 10 of Swords in the reverse, 10 of Cups in the reverse. So you are not where they think they're going to find you, or you move in a way that is difficult for that former employer to predict. So is this indicating there will be some sort of success for Miho? Yes, but it's important for you to be flexible with your plan or to adapt and move quickly, because they feel like they can anticipate your moves. They feel like they can figure out your plan. And if you stick to the original plan, they will win. But you have this Emperor energy that is going to serve you well, and I think help you to get a better resolution than you anticipated. So I hope things go well for you. Thank you, White Witch. Thank you, Morpheus. I appreciate that. We've got Indra up next. What is next over the next few months? This is the Dragon's Tarot, and then I probably have to sign off after this, everybody. I'm getting pretty hungry. And it's like hot in here, so I gotta blow out the candles soon. Even with the fan on. Okay, what is up for Indra for the next few months? the Magician, the Hermit in the reverse, the Lovers in the reverse, and the Three of Swords in the reverse. So this is dependent upon your ability to make the right choice, because you have the ability to set out on a new path, but it means walking away from the past. Sorry, y'all. It's lawn mowing time. Another sign that I have to sign off soon, I suppose. Oh, you're welcome, Miho. So Indra, this is saying it's important to acknowledge what needs to change and to take that new path. It's important to reject the ex, Four of Chalices or the Four of Cups, to not repeat a cycle with the Chariot in the reverse. If you repeat that cycle and you avoid the healing that is meant for you, then there are karmic consequences or a feeling of being stuck. This Magician, though, is saying you have the ability to choose the other path, right? Indra, I just told you what happens if you don't walk away from the past. You repeat a cycle. It scares me how much you want to go right back to the ex, Indra. It's like you want to believe that there's some way that you can choose the past and somebody who's actively trying to manipulate you and somehow get like a very happy situation. But this is saying you have to choose to walk away from the person who is trying to sabotage you. Maybe you don't think that somebody actively manipulating you is sabotage, but that is exactly what it is, because you are meant to be on a better path, and the past is beckoning you to avoid the forward movement. You say she is good somewhat. Ace of Cups in the reverse. Let her work on the somewhat part by herself. You said the other day that you think you can fix her. That's the 5-alarm fire. There's smoke, there's the fire alarms, there's the people screaming. You cannot fix her. She needs to fix herself. Hello, Matt. How are you doing? If you go back to the ex, you make it difficult for you to be on the path that you're supposed to be on, and you justify for her not moving forward. So it is blocking both of you from the potential for healing and growth. If you choose yourself, she realizes she cannot be codependent with you and either chooses to be codependent with someone else or decides to finally work on herself. But if you go back to that, you block that forward movement for both of you. So it's a heavy mood for you today because your mind is trying to convince your heart of the truth. So you need change, you need new energy and healing. 5 of Wands in the reverse and the Hanged Man. This is showing just how indecisive you are, right? The Hanged Man is someone who can't do a lot of moving. But that means you are being asked to think about the situation and move forward. Can Indra change her? No. Page of Pentacles in the reverse, which in the dragon tattoo is the Child of Pentacles. The child. Now look, children are happy. Children are blessings, but it also indicates immaturity. You reinforce her manipulative ways if you go back. You reinforce her addictions if you go back. That's the devil. So if you care about her, walk away. If you want her to see that she needs to change, walk away. If you want her to realize that she cannot continue doing the same things, walk away. Hello, Aveda. How are you doing? I love you all. I hope you all know that I want the best for you. I'm sorry, Indra. I feel like I get a little harsh, but I so want for you to be able to move forward, okay? I've got to go eat some food. I love you all. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the subscribes. And thank you for hyping if you're able to. I will see you on the next reading. Toodles.